to Allah, the Creator, the Cherisher, and the Sustainer of this universe. And may His peace and blessings be upon His noble Prophet Muhammad and his descendants and his companions and his followers. Dear respected brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khairan for the invite and Jazakumullah khairan for coming today. First of all, I'd like to make a disclaimer. I hope that no sister gets offended if I'm looking at her while I'm speaking, because actually the way I lower my gaze is by taking off my glasses. So like that, the whole room is unisex for me now, by the way. Okay, the second thing, actually the topic today mainly is how to protect our children from religious and sexual deviations. That's mainly the topic. And when we talk about religious deviations, mainly we are speaking about falling into atheism. That's the main danger now. Maybe other religions are not as strong as before, and they are not really like proselytizing like before. And also we have, by the way, a playlist on our YouTube channel, and it's called Missionaries' Deception. For those who have fell as victims of missionaries, we have a good 9 videos that helped 97% of the people we worked with. So the success rate of these videos is 97%. Okay. We're on our YouTube channel. Well, this is not a gas station I work for. This is Bridges Foundation, which is an international organization specializing in introducing Islam to non-Muslims and in training Muslim public speakers and presenters. And also those who send their kids abroad for camps in summer. We are holding a camp in Istanbul in July. It's Art of Dawah camp. Presentation skills, public speaking skills, how to apply those skills on presenting Islamic beliefs and concepts, and refuting misconceptions and dealing with difficult questions of non-Muslims. These 2 workshops are very good, mashallah. They were given to 19,000 people in 25 countries so far. Among them actually were the du'a that held the campaign, Da'wah campaign, in South Africa 2010 World Cup. Okay? We trained the du'a there in 8 cities. Anyway, so that's when we talk about deviation regarding leaving Islam to Christianity. But the main danger now is atheism. So mainly I'm going to talk about an important root cause of atheism. But why am I going to speak at the same talk about a completely different type of deviation, which is sexual deviation? And it's like homosexual practices. Why am I going to talk about 2 completely different topics like that in the same talk? It's because after 25 years of giving counseling atheists, and about 10 years now of also helping people who suffer from or struggle with SSA. SSA means same-sex attraction. After this experience, I found that both things have the same main root cause. And this root cause is called the missing father syndrome. If we talk about religion, okay, I would advise you to read a book by Dr. Paul Davis, who's actually the head of the Syndicate of American Psychologists. It's called Faith of the Fatherless. In it, he speaks about atheism. Who are the founders of atheism? Well, the founder of materialism, atheism, communism, Karl Marx, one of the main founders, if not the founder. Karl Marx came from 2 families of rabbis. He was supposed to be a rabbi. But what happened is his father, who was a rabbi, embraced Christianity. And for those who studied a little bit about the Jewish religion and the Christian religion, then they definitely understand that this man took a step backward, not forward. So to leave Judaism to Christianity, that's a step backward. Because to a huge extent, Judaism practices Tawheed, while Christianity clearly practices shirk. So the man embraced Christianity not because he was convinced with Christianity or because he found Jesus. No, no, no. It was just to avoid anti-Semitic harassments. And you know, at that time in Europe, Jews were harassed. But still, to leave your religion, to avoid harassment. So the man lost all respect, the respect of his children. And Karl Marx became the founder or the father of materialism. Thomas Hobbes, the British philosopher, his father was the church vicar, the priest of the church. Church of England has vicars, and he was so fat, much more than me, by the way. Okay, and he used to sleep while giving the sermon, and people laugh at him. So he was an embarrassment for his children, for his family. And more things happened also. There was like a fist fight in the church, and he was beaten, and he even left and lived with a prostitute. He was an embarrassment. So in the books of Thomas Hobbes, it's not only that he is promoting atheism. No, it's full of hatred to clergy. Friedrich Nietzsche, the famous German philosopher, famous for his statement, God died. Paul Davis says in his book that the man did not intend to offend anyone. It was just because he lost his father in the age of 4. It was like he was announcing the death of his father. And what's interesting about Friedrich Nietzsche is that he invented the character of the Superman. Superman in German is the Übermensch, a man who flies and can carry buildings and go through mountains, and this is supernatural, and anything supernatural is unaccepted by atheists. That's why atheists don't believe in religions, because they are based on miracles. Anything supernatural is unaccepted by atheists. So Paul Davis says that the reason why, though he is one of the staunch atheists, he still invented this character of the Superman, is that he lost his father in the age of 4. When the father is a Superman for his children. Baba leaves the house in the morning, he comes back at night with money. Superman. Kids don't know how the father makes money. And the more they grow old, the more the father becomes normal for them in their eyes. And others. He gave many examples. So the issue is, no one really believes that there is no creator. No one. Forget it. This is insanity. To tell me that this bottle of water came like that to be a bottle of water without a factory making this, that's insane. No one will believe that. And this always troubled me, by the way, that how come the Quran ignores a phenomenon like that? And the answer was always that at the time of the Quran, there were no atheists. That's why the Quran did not address atheism. The maximum that the Quran addressed is people who deny resurrection after death and accountability and going to and punishment or reward. That's what they do. That's the maximum. But I still was wondering, still it's a big phenomenon that is going to happen. How come the Quran ignores it? And then I read a book called Hating God, the untold story of mesotheism. What's around us is not atheism. It's mesotheism. People who hate God, not reject his existence. But people don't like to be labeled as haters, so they say, we don't believe that he exists. Okay, why? Don't you see what's happening in Gaza? Don't you see what's happening in Syria? Don't you see what's volcanoes, tsunamis? What does this have to do with his existence or not? This has to do with his attributes. Is he merciful or not? But not existing or not, right? So that's the issue. They do not really deep inside deny that there is a creator. But they hate God. They don't like him. And that was addressed by the Quran. Quran says, أم يقولون به جنة بل جاءهم بالحق ولكن أكثرهم للحق كارهون. The Prophet came to them with the haqq, the truth. But most of them hate the truth. Here you can tell me that the truth, al-haqq here, is not necessarily the name of Allah. Maybe it means just al-haqiqah, the truth. No, if you continue reading, وَلَوْ اتَّبَعَ الْحَقُّ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ لَفَسَدَتِ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ. And had the truth follow their whims, the heavens and the earth could have gone corrupt, which means that the truth here is the name of Allah. So they hate Allah. But Allah chose the name, the truth, al-haq, for this ayah particularly, because what they are doing will lead for them to deny his existence, but he is true. See here. So mainly it is psychological. To deny the existence, to say God doesn't exist, it's a psychological disorder. It's a disorder, psychological problem. And it's caused by trauma. The main trauma that causes it is the missing father syndrome. This is according to the Western psychology school. I disagree to an extent with it. Why? Because not necessarily that this will lead to this. Actually, if the person or the child who lost his father looked for what he missed in his father with Allah, it will substitute his needs. It will compensate him. And the example on this is what? Most of our prophets, they had missing fathers. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had a missing father, right or not? He was orphan. Jesus, he didn't even have a father at all. Moses, what is the father of Moses? Did you ever wonder about that? Nothing says that Moses was an orphan. He was not an orphan. Okay, where is him? Where is Moses' father in the story? Neither in Islam nor in Judaism, the father of Moses is mentioned at all. I believe, or maybe, that if there's a tyrant who kills or who oppresses a certain group and kills even their children, then definitely the activists, political activists, were also in danger, and they were probably on the run. So probably, or definitely, Moses' father was on the run. He escaped. Maybe to the mountains, maybe outside Egypt, maybe I don't know. But Moses also was raised by a single mother. Ibrahim, he had a corrupt father. So this could have caused the corrupt father syndrome. It's like most of our prophets had this missing father, but none of them became an atheist, right? Why? Because they contemplated. They were pondering upon the universe and the ayatullah in the universe. So what they missed in their father, they found with Allah. The hanan, the tenderness that one needs from his father, he can find with Allah. And some of you can stop and tell me, is this accurate? Can you say hanan about Allah? Because how can you describe Allah with something that he did not describe himself with? Maybe you better could have said love. Because the ayah says, إِن كُنتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ. So we have an ayah that say that Allah loves. But do we have an ayah that say that Allah has hanan, tenderness? Do we have one? Exactly. وَحَنَانًا مِّن لَدُنَّا وَزَكَاةً وَكَانَ تَقِيًّا. It is said about who? No, Sayyidina Yahya. Yahya. Yahya in English, John. In Hebrew, Yohanan. Hananullah. That's his name. Good. But still, if the child didn't do like those prophets, yeah, he is vulnerable, of course. Okay. Now let's move to the other topic. The sexual deviations. If we talk about the cause of homosexuality is something called same-sex attraction, SSA. And for your information, SSA, same-sex attraction, is not a disease. And it's not even a disorder. It's a symptom of a disorder called the attachment disorder. This is something that as parents, you really, really need to understand. In boys, or if there is a male who has SSA, it is caused by what's called the attachment disorder. What causes this disorder? The missing father syndrome. If the father is missing, and the boy doesn't have another male figure to substitute his father, not an older a brother, not an uncle, not a grandfather to replace the father, or even a stepfather, or even the boy was too shy to even make friends in school. Or maybe his only friend is also an introvert like him, and they sit together, they don't even talk to each other. If he reaches puberty like that, not satisfied yet with the attachment to his own sex, he is vulnerable. And he may be getting this disorder, attachment disorder, which can cause many things. Among them is SSA. But in girls, it's something different, and we can talk about it also, but in a later stage. But in girls, it's not SSA. Okay, something else. I'm going to tell you. So the issue is the missing father is a problem. Well, a lady came once to me and told me, I lost my husband. He was martyred in Rab'a, and I have 4 children. And I decided not to get married and to raise my children, because I want to focus on raising them and bringing them properly, because I want one of them to be Salah ad-Din, who will free Palestine. I told her, sister, if you really, really love your children, get married for your children. Choose someone who can be a good substitute father. Because wallahi, with all due respect to women, Salah ad-Din was not raised by women. He was raised by his father, Najmuddin Ayyub, his uncle, Asad-ud-Din Shirko, his tutor, Nuruddin Zinki, and his brother, Imad-ud-Din Zinki. Those are the four men who made Salah ad-Din after Allah. Okay? And you remember what I told you about the workshop I'm having in Istanbul in July about the presentation skills, public speaking skills? When I was preparing this workshop 25 years ago, I was using a book, a very nice book that was printed in Egypt by the Majlis Al Shu'un Al-Islamiyya. It was called Subul al-Huda wal-Rashad fi Hadi Khair al-Ibad, a 12-volume book about Prophet Muhammad's character. And I wanted to see his body language, because I wanted to include his body language in my workshop. And I found this amazing hadith. عن هند ابن أبي هالة كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أشار براحة يده. Like that. The Prophet, when he points, he never pointed like this. No, this is impolite. He points with the palm of his hand. When he pointed at people with the palm of the hand. Okay, what else? He said, and when he talks, and he is surprised, إذا تعجب قلبها. He turns his hand like that when he speaks. And he hits with his right hand the palm of his left hand like that, sometimes too. And there's other things. What stopped me is the name of the narrator. Who? Hind ibn. Hind is bint. Hind should be a girl. No, Hind is a boy. Okay, why is his father called Abu Hala? He should be Abu Hind. No, Hala is also a boy. Who are those? Hind and Hala were the sons of Lady Khadija from her previous husband, Abu Hala. So who is narrating to us the body language of the Prophet ﷺ? Not Abu Hurairah, who was always with him. Not Abu Bakr, who was always with him. But his stepson. You know, in Egypt, what we call the stepfather, Guzummu. Any Egyptian here? Yeah, Guzummu. So we say, why is he too harsh? Why does he hate him like that? Is he Guzummu? Because the word Guzummu or stepfather, it denotes friction, probably hatred. Huh? But no, for them, they couldn't even remove their eyes from him. They were looking up for him all the time. They are the ones who told us about his body language, how he talked, how he moved. You know what? Even his body features was narrated by Hind ibn Abi Hala. He said, كان لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خط من الشعر من اللبة إلى السرة وليس في البطن والصدر من ذلك شيء. Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم had a line of hair from the throat down to the belly button, and there was no hair in the stomach or the chest. Who is describing this? His stepson. Why? Because for him, he wasn't Guzummu. No, he was his, what we call this, his substitute father, Ab Badil, the substitute father. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a substitute father for 13 children. 3 were the Hind and Hala, the boys of Lady Khadija, and Hind, a girl, also daughter of Lady Khadija. So 3 of Lady Khadija, 4 are the sons of Salama, 5 of the children of Sauda bint Zam'a, and 1 Habiba, which was the granddaughter of Abu Sufyan. Okay? The daughter of Habiba, al-Mu'mineen. He was their substitute father. and they loved him so much. And they are the ones who told us about him. So, if a lady lost her husband, she shouldn't stay celibate. No, she should find a good man and tell him, I don't want anything from you except to be a good substitute father for my children. That's all I want from you. If you can take this responsibility, you're welcome. Okay, what if she doesn't get married? Okay, there must be a male figure in the family, the grandfather, an uncle, anyone. There must be male figures in the family who would take care of this son, of this boy, or these children, and be with them, see them, take them out, stuff like that. What is the role then of the problem is, the main problem is, the father is not dead, but he's missing. How? He's missing from the life of his children. When he goes every day at 7, because he has to work. He has to make ends meet. He has to pay the rent, to pay the bills. Fine. No one disagrees with that. But what time does he come back home? 7, 8, 9? Okay. What does he do after that? Does he sit for an hour with his children? Or does he go on his phone sending very important messages to all the WhatsApp groups saying, Jumu'ah Mubarakah, Jumu'ah Mubarakah, Jumu'ah Mubarakah, Jumu'ah Mubarakah. He doesn't want any distraction because he is saving the Palestine by sending Jumu'ah Mubarakah. This phone is the biggest enemy of your family, of your children. You go back home, I'm not telling you to drop it in the toilet, no, but put it in a drawer and close your drawer and sit with your children. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was crawling on his knees, putting 2 children on his back, he wasn't wasting his time. Prophet Muhammad is the biggest VIP in the history of mankind. He didn't have a second to waste. He had the biggest responsibilities. So why was he wasting his time? He was not wasting his time. He was teaching his ummah what quality time means. Quality time means that you play with your children like a child, not like a parent. What's the dalil on this? The Prophet was crawling on his knees with the 2 children on his back, Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein, and then he looked at them and said what? Ni'mal jamal jamalukuma. Right? What does it mean? What a beautiful camel you have. It's like he's imagining himself a camel. I'm sorry, this is not a discourse of a prophet. It's not even a discourse of an adult. It's the discourse of a 3-year-old. Yes, he was teaching us that when you play with a 3-year-old, play with him as if you are 3-year-old. Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib has a statement that says, من كان له صبي فليتصابى له. The one who has a boy should be a boy, should act boyishly like him. You are not a parent when you play with your children. You cannot correct them. You cannot discipline them. You are not forget it. During the hour of playing, you are a child. When he was talking to a 6-year-old, he talked to him in a way that suits a 6-year-old. He said, Ya Umayr, ma fa'ala nughayr. There's nothing called nughayr in Arabic language. It's nughar, which means bird. But he made it rhyme with the name of the boy, Umayr, nughayr, and the boy loved the pun. Because he's 6, he talked to him as if he's 6. Okay, take that one too, because brace yourselves. And alhamdulillah, the hadith is in Al-Bukhari. Because I know, if it was not in Al-Bukhari, you could have said I'm lying. عن محمود بن الربيع أذكر مجة مجها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في وجهي من دلو وأنا ابن 5 سنين. He says, Mahmud ibn Rabi', may Allah be pleased with him, narrated, I remember when I was 5 years old, a sip of water that the Prophet ﷺ took from a container and he sprayed in my face. This is how 5 years old play. He played like a 5-year-old, which means you play everything with your children, even a pillow fight. Play. Like if they are 6, you're 6. If they're 7, you're 7. 8, you're 8. Play. Why is that? Why is this important? Prophet Muhammad has a very famous hadith that says, Al-mar'u ala dini khalilih. Good. Every person follows the footsteps of his khalil. Khalil means what? His intimate friend. Deen doesn't mean religion here. Deen means the way of. ما كان ليأخذ في دين الملك in Surah Yusuf means he wouldn't take according to the law or the system of the king, except the perpetrator who stole. Okay? So that's what it means. So deen means the way of life. So it means that everyone follows the footsteps of his dearest friend, his intimate friend, خليله, not أخلائه. Just one friend, the closest friend. So, fathers, you need to be the closest friends of your children, not someone else. Because not all of us enroll their children in Muslim schools, right? Not all of us. Some of us couldn't afford that, and they just enrolled them in public schools. Can you control who's sitting next to your kid? No. Maybe the boy sitting next to him is his mother is a stripper. Can you guarantee not? You cannot. Yeah? Imagine this, a boy who goes home and sees men coming in and out all the time, sniffing cocaine and stuff like that, and drinking and partying. Become the intimate friend of your kid. You don't need that. You want to be the more intimate to your kid than him. You want your kid to love you and to love to be with you more than that boy, right? It means what? That you have a competitor. So you need to make your kid enjoy being with you more than that boy. This boy's mother is, we say in Egypt, we say, Ibn Ra'as. Right? Okay. So your competitor is Ibn Ra'as. Can you imagine this? You need your child to enjoy his time with you by all means. I even told some people about a good idea and it worked. Your son calls you what? Baba, Abi, Daddy, whatever. Abi, whatever. And that's good because, yes, your son should not call you by your name. This is wrong. But you can make an exception during the quality time. Only every day between 8 and 9, when we play, I will allow you to call me by my name. You say, Fadel, but 8 exactly, not 1 minute before 8, you understand? Yeah, okay. 9 sharp, you cannot say it again. Okay. So the child understands that at 8, he can. 8 exactly, he's waiting. And when it's 8, Fadel, let's play. And we start. So that's exactly what I wanted. That he's waiting for the moment when he is with me. This makes you very successful. Can you imagine that what I'm telling you protects your kids from deviations in religion and in sexualities? This is mind-blowing. And subhanAllah, everything I told you had a dalil from the Sunnah or the Quran. Right or not? It's based on that. Okay, Umar ibn Khattab said, علموا أولادكم السباحة والرماية وركوب الخيل. Teach your children swimming and archery and horseback riding. So you know what we did in Egypt? Back home, when I was in Egypt, I used to send my kids with the driver to the club to go to مدرسة السباحة. Umar said, علموا أولادكم, which means I should be the first one to take my children to the swimming pool. And they should see me wearing the bathing suit. This is very important. Can you imagine that? One of the cases of SSA, same-sex attraction, that I have is a young man, a 25-year-old, who gets attracted to men in the age of his father, 60 plus. He doesn't get attracted to 25 or 30 like him at all. Doesn't feel anything. Why? Because he never even saw the body of his father. Never saw it. He doesn't even know if his father has hair in his arms or not. Never. Not even the arms. When his father changes his clothes, they have to put the pillows on their faces. And when dad says, khalas, they remove the pillows. Daddy is wearing the pajama, completely buttoned up till here, and it's always with the long sleeves. He never saw his father. When he said, Daddy, we want to go to the swimming pool, he took them, but he stayed wearing his long sleeve shirts while watching them outside. He didn't take them with. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. You should take your kids to the swimming pool. You should hug them a lot. Hugging kids and kissing your kids is very important. Now some of you say, hey, come on, this is too far. Telling us kissing is important. Yes, kissing your kids is extremely important. Hey, come on, do you have a dalil? Yes, of course I have a dalil. Actually, I always wondered, why was Prophet Muhammad so harsh with the man like that when he told him, do you kiss your children? Because he saw Prophet Muhammad kissing the Hassan and Hussein. He said, what's that? Do you kiss your children? I have 10 children, and I never kissed any of them. I always wondered, why did the Prophet reprimand him like that? Why didn't the Prophet respect this culture, the Bedouin culture? Khalas, they don't kiss their kids. No, the Prophet told him, what do I do if Allah had removed mercy from your heart? Yes, he reprimanded him because he should be reprimanded, and people who have a culture like that should change that culture. Kissing your children is so important. The whole thing is, the boys should have a good connection and with their with other males, mainly the father, if not other male figures, also their own friends, before puberty, so that when they reach puberty, they start looking for the other sex. But if they reach puberty like that, with this connection disorder, then they may look for this connection with their sex in sex, and that's not what we want. So that's, I told you now about the main cause in boys, in males. In females, it's different. In females, there is no SSA. There is no same-sex attraction. But there is a complex from the idea of having a long-term relationship with a man. For us Muslims, it's called marriage. For non-Muslims, it can just be like living together, boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever. But even this long-term relationship is unacceptable for them. It's a myth for them. Why? Because it doesn't work. And this happens when the girl sees her mother crying all the time, sad all the time, and she heard her speaking to auntie on the phone telling her, can you miss it when I married him? It was a black day. It was a dark day the day I married him and stuff. So mama is not happy. Not only her, nearly every person I know married is not happy. So it's not a good idea. So she grows a complex against the idea of marrying a man. We don't need that. If you have problems between you both, keep them away from the kids. Actually, in front of the kids, show affection in the presence of your kids. When you sit together during this family hour, okay, and you're talking or playing or anything, your wife should be actually, you should be caressing your wife like that. Show affection in front of the kids. Let the kids want to grow up to get married. Promote the idea of marriage, not the opposite. Keep the kids away from your wars if you are in war with each other. It happens. By the way, most of the cases that come to me are from Canada. Canada, not the US even. They are 10 times more than you, and the most cases are coming from here. Last one was telling me I have we are separated and I have 50% guardianship, and my lawyer told me that I can get his 50% if I just tell the judge that he threatened me. He threatened to be violent with me. I'm going to get 50%. And believe me, brother, he is not a good man, and so on. The kids are learning bad things from him. So it's better for the kids that I take them. I said, okay. I didn't go to tell her that this is a false shahada, and I just asked her first, do the kids love him? She said, yeah, actually, yeah, they do love him. Said, okay. Does he play with them? He said, he's daffy. He's a very shallow man. He's all the time playing with his kids. I told her, listen, give him your 50%. Women are looking for a man like that. She said, listen, his daughter came back and told me, Baba is a liar. I told her, why did she say so? She said, probably he promised her to do something and he didn't do it. I said, okay, and what did you do? She said, I told her, see? I told you. SubhanAllah, this is wrong. You should have told her. Definitely Baba forgot. Defend him. And then send him a message and tell him, your daughter is calling you a liar. So please remember to fulfill your promises to the kids. Get the kids out from your wars. If you do so, you're damaging the kids, damaging their sexuality. Wallahi, it is so serious. So serious. Okay? So, yeah, I know I took a long time speaking about this issue about the missing father syndrome, but because, you know what? We have in Bridges Foundation, we have programs for protecting people from falling into atheism through games that we developed, by the way, and they have 37 videos that deal with the existence of God, that deal with the authenticity of Islam and the Quran, and even the philosophical root causes of atheism, like the Mu'dilat al-Shar, the dilemma of evil and stuff like that. We have all that. But believe me, 95% of the cases are because of the missing father syndrome. And if I say that in same-sex attraction, 95%, that's 95% of the cases I know. Mainly. Yeah, there are also other causes that, like, for example, if there is frequent sexual harassment in childhood, it can cause something called gender dysphoria. And this is what leads to the other thing, which is transgenderism. And this is something that you need to understand the difference between transgenders and same-sex attraction. Two different things. But believe me, 95% is the father. So please, take more time with your kids. Give them, those are your responsibility. The Prophet ﷺ said, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. الإمام راع. The leader is a ra'i, is a shepherd, and the man is a shepherd in his household, and the woman is a shepherdess in her husband's household. So every one of us is a shepherd, will be held accountable for the people he is responsible for. And mainly your children, you are responsible for them. Your role is not to make money, is not breadwinners. No. You have more role than women. And I know that this is mind-blowing. For me, it's new too. I never thought that. I always thought that the mother is more important. No. Strange. Of course, I'm not saying that losing a mother will not cause no, it causes a trauma. But it's called the trauma of losing a loved one. But the father is completely different. Why? I don't know. But it's even Western psychology have found that strange. And I know that many women now are very happy with this, by the way. They tell you, see, it's you. No, be careful, because most of the time, the one who ruins the relationship between the kids and the father is the mother, because she wants them to love her more. No. Defend him all the time in his back. and keep waking him up that he needs to spend more time with the kids. Okay? So that's very important. I'm going to open the floor for a question, but before that, I want to tell you something, because when kids are now, subjected to this, propaganda, colors propaganda, you understand, we need to increase in them critical thinking, because we can't be with our kids all the time. So we can't protect them. They need to protect themselves by not believing everything they hear. So and this works with 11-year-old and above, by increasing critical thinking, like that. I did a test before, and I asked a child, he was 14, here, what's going on in your school? He said, oh my God, Amo, you can't imagine. A big campaign. We have to pass in the corridors under, these, boughs that are made of the rainbows and stuff. Oh, posters everywhere, coming in classes to talk to us about it. So, wow. So this is well-funded, huh? Yes, of course, it's well-funded. Definitely, yeah. So good. How much did they charge you? So what? I said, how much did they charge you? How much did you pay, you and your fellow students? Said nothing. Said nothing. Ah, so this is a free service? Said, yeah. Said, listen, there is nothing in this world for free. If at any time you see someone offering you free service, you should understand that you are the merchandise and you are being sold to someone else. Let me give you an example. This interested the kid to listen, because kids in that age like to understand these things. I said, if someone tells you, all of you are invited tonight for a dinner for free in the kebab house somewhere, or Red Lobster, it's not for free. He sold you to the man who was putting a booth selling mobile phones outside. So you have to look for the money. Where is it going and who's benefiting? I said, okay. I said, how many kids in your class label themselves transgender now? That's nearly 20%. Yeah. Actually, accurately, according to the last survey, 17% of students in schools label themselves transgender. He said, yeah, nearly 20%. I said, good. So like how many in each class? He said, like 6, 7 in each class. Okay. And what if only one of them decides to go all the way and transform and do the operation? You know how much does the operation cost? We checked. Yeah, 100,000 Canadians, like 70,000 US dollars. Okay, and I said the things around it is salatat, hormones, and the أجهزة تعويضية and stuff like that, that use plastic surgeries and stuff. Another 25,000. It's like 100,000. But that's from one class. From 10 classes, that's 1 million. 10 grades, 10 million. 10 million from one school. And there's a school just 2 streets behind you. And another school 2 streets from the east, from the west. It's like from this city only, Mississauga alone, this can be like 100 million or more. From the whole city, it's like 1 billion. From the whole country, it's like, we're talking about $1 trillion business. Who's benefiting from this? Pharmaceutical lobby. And they will go, wow. Like that, you protected him. Okay? Next day, he will go to school and sit to them like this. May I talk to him about these things? You understand? Alas, he's not as naive as before. So this is something that we need to teach our children. Take from the chemistry teacher chemistry. That's it. He goes out of topic, off topic, not necessarily what he's gonna say is right. Done. From every teacher, take his whatever he's teaching, and that's it. But be careful that there is agendas and stuff like that. So this is important that we teach our children not to be naive. Sometimes we destroy our children with things like, don't say no to anyone older than you. Okay, you are the one who made him accept the cigarette from the student who was 1 year older because you programmed him to submit to anyone older. No, who said that? In our videos that we made for kids, we tell them, no is a good word. You need to learn how to say no, even to people who are older than you, except Baba and Mama and Allah. That's it. We need to tell our children, you can't sit on the lap of anyone. Don't allow anyone to touch you. No one. No one. Done. So we need to be more open and more educate our children better. By the way, we feel shy sometimes from discussing these topics with our children because they are still children. But the other side discusses everything with them openly. So it ends up that our children are dealing with us as children. But they are not really children. They know everything. So we need to get more in touch with them. We need to be with them most of the time to know what they are studying, know who are their friends, what they are doing. Allow them to speak. You don't lecture to them all the time. Tell them to speak and to express themselves. Okay? Now I'm going to open the floor for some questions. Do I have time or not? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Any question? Of course, ladies first. You know ladies first is a sunnah? You know that or not? Yeah. What's the dalil? تَوْصُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا. Give privilege to women. Okay? Yalla. First question from women. No one asks. You know why? Because I always say so they get shy and they don't speak. You see when I say give privilege, it's a sunnah. Yalla, please first. They don't speak. Okay. Anyone gonna ask or not? Okay, here. Any question? Yes. Any question? Yes. Lala, man first. Well, wait. There's a microphone coming. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. In public schools, they teach sexual education to children. And for some parents, including me, we try to deny to get them into these classes. So what is the proper way to handle this?
What is what?
What is the proper way to handle this, to get them?
I don't know the laws here, but if you can pull your children out from these classes, do it.
Yeah,
don't allow them to teach them sexual education because they are not teaching them sexual education.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should give our children our own sexual education. And in Islam, there is sexual education. But there is sexual education for kids at a certain phase, which is before puberty. The kids need to be aware of the changes that are happening to them. Okay? And there are sexual education for kids in when they are teenagers because they need to know how to interact with the opposite sex. And there is also sexual education before marriage because they need to know what they are going also to face. So this is but what they are taking is damaging. Some of what they're taking is damaging. So we can give it. So if the laws here allow you to pull the children out from this, do it.
But if you allow me, then as you were saying that they will deal with us like children, but with their friends know a lot. So how then?
No. You are asking me if sexual education, should we pull them out from it? I said yes, pull them out from it if you can. Okay, yeah. But if you are telling me about dealing with your kids are dealing with others, okay, with others, then you need to be friend of your children so that your children will be following your footsteps, following your way of life, and not be vulnerable when they see the others and they want to be like the others. Yeah. If you are their friend, they will come to you and tell you what they have seen, and then you can discuss and correct and educate. But if they don't tell you what they have seen because there's no relationship between them and Baba, then you are staying in the dark, not knowing where your kids are facing.
Yeah.
The best thing is that your kids don't feel afraid of telling you everything. Are not afraid of consequences of being truthful with you. That's why the prophetic way of tarbiyah of children is neither based on reward or on punishment. Dalil. Everything in this religion should have a dalil. No one is allowed to play with your minds. Don't allow anyone to play with your minds. What is the dalil? Anas said, خدمت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 10 سنين 10 years. I served him for 10 years. He was 9 years old. Okay? So he was a kid. And he never reprimanded me or told me, why did you do this or why did you do that? He never blamed me or reprimanded me. Do you think that the Prophet never corrected him? He definitely corrected him, but positively. Huh? If you tell your kid that if he does his homework, if he does his duties, you will reward him. You know what are you doing? You are raising someone who wants bribes. Because that's what bribery is. People are taking extra for doing their duty. No. The duty will be done without any reward. And the wrong will not be done without fear of punishment. But this starts from the beginning by growing a good relationship with them. And if you want to read a good book, there's a good book called Positive Parenting by Jane Nelson. And it was actually translated to Arabic by Dr. Mustafa Abu Saad. And I believe that if you read Arabic, read the one by Mustafa Abu Saad better. Because he probably also trimmed some non-Islamic things. But the book is okay still. Okay? Anything else? Yep. What are the most important things? What? Under 3. Yeah, it's just, under 3, still you are going to play with them, and they should see the father a lot. They should be with the father a lot. Yeah, same thing. The Prophet ﷺ was playing with his kids when they were 3. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something, by the way. Okay, we all know that when the Prophet ﷺ jahara bid-da'wah and he called upon the factions of Quraysh, oh, Banu Abd Manaf, do this and do that. Oh, do this and do that. Oh, Banu so and so. And then he said what? Oh, Fatima, do this and do that because لا أغني عنك من الله شيئا. Right? She was 5 years old. 5 years old. Didn't you ask yourself, why didn't he call upon her sisters? She had sisters. She had 3 other sisters. Why her? Definitely, because they were not there with him. That's it. She was daddy's girl, 5 years old, going with him everywhere. So she was with him in an important meeting like that. And then he addressed her to show the people that he addressed that he is not threatening them. It's out of love he is warning them, like he's warning his child. You see? So that's the issue. But the point here is, she's 5-year-old girl and she's with daddy everywhere. That's good. There must be this relationship between the kids in a very young age and daddy. Yeah. Okay, he's not listening actually. You're the one who asked, but anyway, خلاص. What else? Yeah. We do counseling for them. We speak to them, and yeah, this it's mainly it's a mental health issue, by the way, and that's what we have been saying. It's not genetic; it's a mental health issue, and mainly our kids are subjected to something new now, which is called the I call them شبهات قوم لوط الجدد. The new قوم لوط had new misconceptions on Islam, and that they throw on our kids to make them doubt Islam and show them that Islam is not fair with them, but that's not true. And the 6 main misconceptions, I have them, they're on our YouTube channel, mainly in Arabic, actually, by the way. In the last 8 episodes of the last ذكرى وعبرة يعني series. So, like for example, they say, okay, you misunderstood the story of Lut. Why? It's because you said that God punished them for practicing this, fahisha. But who said that? They did 2 other things. One, they wanted to rape the guests, and no one accepts rape. Second or third, they were bandits. They used to cut the roads and attack caravans because he said, وَتَقْطَعُونَ السَّبِيلِ. So why are you saying that God punished me only for that? Maybe for the whole thing, or maybe for other things. These are things that we responded to. Number one, when Prophet Lut said, إنكم لتأتون الفاحشة ما سبقكم بها من أحد من العالمين. You are doing a fahisha, which means a horrible crime that no one before you, that no one preceded you to do it before. You are approaching men instead of women, and you cut the way. Doesn't mean cut the roads and attack caravans. This is not something new that no one before them did. That was the hobby at that time everywhere. People were always afraid to travel everywhere. No, it is you cut the way of reproduction. That's what he meant. And that's in the tafsir too. So there are 2 tafsirs. A very superficial tafsir that say, yeah, they used to cut roads. No, there's also another tafsir that say, you are cutting the way of reproduction and the continuity of the human race. So we have our own also refutations for these misconceptions. One of the things they say, hey, you have a problem in the Quran. Lut says, no one before you did it. And we discovered that in the pharaonic temples, there were images of men in romantic position. So there were also homosexuality. No, there wasn't. And subhanAllah, alhamdulillah, I have a book that was collected by my grandfather. It took him 40 years to collect it. It's called Sports in Ancient Egypt. The most important sport in ancient Egypt was wrestling. And the wrestling match always starts with the 2 men hugging each other like this. They said, see, romantic position. No. This is how the match starts. The important matches, you can still watch them today because the final matches of the tournaments are recorded on the engraved in a way that if you move your eye like that, you are seeing them like a cartoon, like a motion picture. So that's what happened, that they just did the cut and paste game with us. They took one position of 2 men in that position. They say, see, romantic, it's not romantic, it's a part of a wrestling game. And guess what? What if the pharaohs really had it? Does it mean that the Quran is wrong because the pharaohs did this and he said no one did it before? Because they are assuming that the pharaohs were before Lut. Who said that? Lut was a contemporary of Ibrahim. And like 1,000 years after Ibrahim, Musa was sent to the Pharaoh. Who said that the pharaohs preceded Lut? Lut was either before the pharaohs or in the beginning of the era of the pharaohs. So you see, they're ignorant. But the most dangerous misconception is this. It's not about sex, it's about love. What if I wake up next day and I find myself in love with the boy sitting next to me? No, one moment. Why are you assuming that the heart should not be controlled by the mind? Who said that the heart should be just left unleashed like that? Forget about homosexuality completely. What if I wake up next day to find myself in love with the wife of my neighbor? Should the heart be controlled or not? So why are they assuming a false assumption like that and make it a rule? No, the heart should be under control. What if someone falls in love with someone that he cannot marry? From a different religion that he cannot marry? Done. Khas. So the heart should be put under control. Add to this, this is not love. And no one should teach us love because we are Muslims. We are the religion of love. We love each other. Men love each other. Women love each other. And we go to Jannah because of that. And among the 7 types of people who go to Jannah are وَرَجُلَانْ تَحَابَّا فِي اللَّهِ اجْتَمَعَ عَلَيْهِ وَتَفَرَّقَ عَلَيْهِ. Right or not? 2 men who loved each other. You know what? The Prophet said, when one of you feels that he loves his brother, he should go and tell him, I love you. It's today because we are shy to say I love you. We say, I love you for the sake of Allah, which means don't think anything. No. You don't even have to say so. It's not gayish to say, I love you to your brother. No one will. By the way, the ulama, the scholars said that we have 2 types of love. Love for the sake of Allah and love not for the sake of Allah. Each one of them is also of 2 types. But that's a big topic now. I think I have it also on YouTube. Go, at least, let's benefit from you something today. Go to YouTube and type Bridges Foundation channel. Subscribe, like, and share so that we can benefit something from you today. Okay? When do you finish? You tell me. Okay? Excellent. If it's not harmful to anyone, why is God banning it? Number 1, because God created the male and the female, and it's God who tells what's harmful and what's not harmful. Second, by the way, it's even against evolution. Okay? Because if something is good, then it is good to spread, right? Okay, imagine that it spreads until all people become like that. You know what that means? The end of human race. So no, who said it's not harmful? Add to this, by the way, I have a video, but it's not on YouTube. Because if it's on YouTube, it can be closed, my channel. It's on Vimeo. And it was made actually for the students of a school in Florida. It's in English. And I think you and your children should watch it, actually. It even displayed the different diseases that happen due to the anal relationship. And it's so harmful. Who said it's not harmful? So harmful. Yeah. Yeah, they say so that in animals it exists. Okay. So what? Many things exist in animals, by the way. Yeah, but by the way, it doesn't exist in animals. In animals, when it's done, it's not a sexuality. It is to show control. It happens in jails and prisons to show control, to make the other one submit and humiliated. So it's a matter of humiliation, by the way. This is how it is in animals. And if it is in animals, animals are not my. So are they saying that it is really an animalistic practice then? Understand me? So yeah, no, I'm sorry. We're not animals. That's it. We have in Prophet Muhammad an example. And we have our religion. By the way, but they say you are homophobic. We say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not homophobic. Homophobic means that you only focus on homosexuality and say it's haram. No, that's not true. In Islam, every sexuality is haram. Every sexuality, except heterosexuality between husbands and wives. That's it. So even between men and women is haram, except if they are married. So who said that we are against homosexuality? No, that's not true. We are even against heterosexuality if it's not within the frame of marriage. None. So There is an answer, don't worry, about for everything. And they have also other misconceptions too, 6 months, but I don't really remember them now. Yes, yes, yes. Hmm. Yeah. جزاكم الله خير. جزاكم الله خير. What else? Yep. Moms, it's very important for them to play with the kids. And in the family time, it should be the whole family playing together. And there should be the good relationship between the mom and the dad. This is very important. Actually, I know that I was focusing too much on that today because the problem is there, and you know that. Actually, I was helping you, Annie. Okay? Moms, mashallah, they are already, they are over affectionate. Okay? So that's fine. We don't have a problem with this. I'm talking to the people whom we have a problem with. Believe me. Okay? Is by saying that every day we will play between this time and this time, and we fix a time for playing so that we can keep things in order after that. Okay? But one of the things that, thank you very much for reminding me, is that when moms play with the kids, they should not overdo it when they spoil their kids, especially the boys. You should not call them girly names and say you are na'nu and stuff like that. This causes this problem, especially if the boy doesn't even have like other male siblings. It's like one boy and four girls, and he's most of the time with his mom and the sisters. He should feel like he's different from his sisters. Don't do that don't spoil your boy in a way that makes him feel like he's a girl. This is wrong. This can cause gender dysphoria. Okay? Yeah, I know. I know. Sometimes you wish the kids were orphans. I know. Yeah, you have to educate the fathers. I know. We have to educate the fathers. That's it. Spend and do all the effort you can. By the way, the talk I gave here today is what I gave yesterday in Toronto. Is what I gave the day before yesterday in Ottawa. The day before yesterday in. I'm only nearly giving this now because I'm waking up fathers. Smell the coffee. You have to wake up. They have to wake up. I have seen a man, 39 years old, with mustache like that, and he is having tantrum like a 2-year-old on the floor, crying like hell during a therapy, because I participate in the therapy things. And I've seen this is something called psychotherapy. The therapist tries to find out what caused the trauma in childhood. And then we make the person tell us what are the incidents that he can remember that really hurt him so much. And then we do it drama. Like I play the role of the father, and someone next to me wears a wig and plays the role of the mother, and we keep telling him the things that hurt him. And we keep repeating until he breaks down and he starts crying. You can't imagine. I've seen these things happening because mainly it's the father. That boy whom I told you about, he's not 39-year-old. It was his problem that he was Indian. And his father left him in India at the age of 1-year-old. Until 6-year-old, he didn't see him. And he took his brothers with him to Jeddah because he went to work in Saudi Arabia. And he stayed with his mother. So when he was like 4 and 5, he started to ask his mother, why didn't dad take me with him like my brothers? And she told him, because he doesn't love you. She wanted to shut him up. He doesn't love you. He's 39-year-old now, suffering from same-sex attraction. He wishes to have opposite sex attraction. He wishes to get married because of this trauma. We just reminded him with this. And you can't imagine how he was in a tantrum on the floor. Unimaginable. I never imagined to see these things that I've seen in the workshop, because what I did is I invited the best people who do this therapy from Utah. They are Mormons. I brought them to Istanbul, and I invited therapists from all over the Muslim world to learn from them. And we learned a lot of things, actually. Alhamdulillah, they held this workshop 3 times now in the Muslim world. The last one was last weekend in Egypt. Alhamdulillah. And we have people now, we have a growing network now that are learning how to do the therapy. And one of the misconceptions is that therapy does not work. And people become suicidal after that. And they have surveys. But when we looked at the surveys, they asked people whom the therapy did not work with them, and no therapy works with everyone, by the way. So they chose the people whom the therapy did not work with them, and they asked them some questions. Among them is, did you feel suicidal after the therapy? So they all said yes. 90% said yes. Well, but they did not ask them, did you feel suicidal before the therapy? They didn't ask that. Because all of them also felt it before the therapy. Maybe more, because the therapy heals depression or deals with depression. So some of them whom their depression decreased may not feel suicidal after the therapy, even if it doesn't work with them with their same-sex attraction. Understand? It's another world. All what you need to do is to protect yourselves and your children from that problem by being friends of your children. Spend time with your children. Okay? Yes, no, not for kids. No. I mentioned a workshop that is called Journey into Manhood, made by Brothers Road, which is a Mormon organization in Utah. And it's a workshop that is given to people who have SSA, and it's like a turning point. It's a turning point in the life of everyone I know who got rid of this problem. It was always the first thing he went through, and it gave him hope that he can work on his SSA. Yes, sister. I'm sorry. I'm half deaf. I have this ear down here with it.
So I'm saying, as we live in Canada, we may meet people with the same sex at our work. For our children, they may not meet at younger age, but maybe in older age. So for us, I would say, like, as a professional, I will deal with them like lakum dinakum waliya din.
Of course.
But how to teach my kids to be like, because these people can be bullied from other people, so my children can feel emotional to them, like I feel this is disrespect or not fair for them. So how to teach my kids to be fair, and at the same time they understand this Allah doesn't like.
Number one, we have to teach ourselves and our kids that SSA and OSA, which is opposite sex attraction, which is the norm, both of them are tests. Both of them can lead to paradise or hellfire. I can have opposite sex attraction, means the norm, and this can lead one either to paradise by getting married and having a Muslim family, okay? Or if he goes and practices out of marriage relationships, he can go to hellfire because of opposite sex attraction, which is the norm. Same thing, same sex attraction, if he suffers from it and he tries to get out of it, get rid of it, and he abstains from practicing because he knows that it is haram, then this can lead him to paradise. Yeah, someone can go to paradise for having same-sex attraction and abstaining from practicing what's haram. Or live the gay life and then face his punishment. That's it. So we need to tell our kids that we don't hate people. We're not just crazy homophobic people, not at all. Everything in this life is a test. Poverty is a test. Being rich is a test. The rich, money is a test. If one fails this test, he can go to hellfire if he doesn't spend his zakah, if he doesn't help the poor. And same thing, poverty is a test. One can go to hellfire for being poor and envious and steal, right? Or if he shows patience and perseverance, no, so he passes his test. Same thing. So we should tell our kids that we're not just homophobic, crazy people at all. No, we're not homophobic, and we don't hate anyone. We have to be fair with everyone. If you oppress anyone, even gay or something like that, you can go to hellfire. Don't oppress anyone. Don't discriminate against anyone. But at the same time, we are Muslims. We have our identity. We follow the rulings of Allah, and He told us what's right and what's wrong. And no one knows better than Allah. So it's education. It's education. And also, we educate them about these misconceptions before they face it. And then they sympathize with them because these misconceptions affect them. When they tell them, love is love, what do I do? It's not about sex, it's about love. Yeah, this can affect them unless we weaponize them with knowledge. Okay? Sharif. Huh? تفضل. Good. Well, we have a video for kids in the Save the Turtles game about that. It's two boys talking to each other. Yusuf is asking Ahmed, can science replace religion at a certain point? Because science is finding answers to everything now. He told him, no, science can answer how, but never why. For example, why is my finger stretched like that? Scientifically, because my muscles have contracted and the tendons stretched, so my finger stretched like this. If the professor in school asks me, why are you raising your finger? Can I answer him, because my muscles contracted and my tendons stretched? Why not? It's the right scientific answer. Because it's nonsense. Science is nonsense. I didn't say science, but science cannot say why. Science can say how. What can say? It's me who would say, because I want to ask a question, or because I want to go to the bathroom, or because I want to say shahada. Science cannot give these answers and will not give these answers. So you need to know how to answer in a logical way, in a convincing way to the child. Okay? Yep. Yes, of course. And if the parent is still alive, the right way is to go and fix his relationship with him. And just yesterday, I received a message from one of the people who were having the therapy in Egypt. When he went back to London, he told me, the first thing I did, I went to my dad, and we went together to a cafe, and we had a coffee together, and you can't imagine how I feel now. I don't feel any same-sex attraction, but this is temporary, of course. It's going to come back because he didn't get a lot of therapy yet. But it worked quickly. It showed him that there is a way. So by fixing his relationship, and I'll tell you something. You know the ayah that says, وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفة. I never understood this. When Allah says that if two parents try hard with you to make you not worship Allah but worship idols, and do all their effort to make you worship idols and be mushrik, don't obey them, but be nice to them and stay in their companionship. I never understood, how can Allah say so about those two nasty people? Yeah, two parents, but they are nasty parents. Who's worse than those two parents? No one. But I discovered that what? This is in favor of the Muslim boy. He is the one who needs to be having a relationship, a good relationship with his parents, even if they are kuffar, which is the relationship between Ibrahim and his father. See? Yes. No, 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 no. No, no, no. It's not. It's a treat. Yeah. The person must have same-sex attraction. There's no prevention. If the person has same-sex attraction, that is having a problem. If he doesn't have it, it doesn't happen by coincidence. It happens because of a trauma. That's it. If a person doesn't have it, then alhamdulillah, khalas, then he doesn't have it. Don't worry. It's not like catching a disease. It's not a disease. I told you. Okay? It's an, huh? Journey into Manhood is only for boys. If you want to contact Brothers Road, yeah, we don't have except the one for boys. Yeah, and unfortunately, there is very little resources for girls. But I told you that in case of girls, it's not same-sex attraction. It's a complex from relationship. So any psychologist who understands this, he just needs to fix the trauma and fix the complex from relationship with men. That's it.
My daughter has been in an Islamic school for 4 years, and her religion is degrading. She took off her hijab. She's barely praying now, right now. And I have been with her in therapy for a year. And the therapist, she's Muslim, and she said
How
that
old is she?
she's 13. She said that the school is putting her in stress, and it's better to take her out of the school and put her like in public or Catholic. So, what's your say about this?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Stay in that school or find a better school. But at the same time, we need to understand why our children don't want to pray. Because prayer is heavy on their hearts. And by the way, the norm is that prayer is heavy on the hearts according to the Quran, except إلا على الخاشعين. واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة, and seek help in صبر, patience, and صلاة. وإنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين. And it's heavy. The salah is heavy except on those who are mindful of God, on those who have khushu'. So we need to learn how to bring khushu' to our prayers. Khushu' is not something that happens by coincidence. No. Khushu' is something that we learn how to prepare it. And it's a video on my YouTube channel in the playlist called The Purification of the Heart. I think the 9th episode is called The Spirit of Prayer. If you type The Spirit of Prayer, Fadel Soliman on YouTube, you're going to get it, inshallah. Okay? But if you watch it, stand up quickly and pray 2 rak'ahs to practice what you learned. And the more you practice bringing khushu', the more you bring it quicker. All of you should watch it. Every Muslim should watch this. How to bring khushu' to the... But actually, even kids, 11-year-old, 12-year-old will benefit from it. By the way, in our camp, the first lecture will be this one. So that the kids, when they are with us for 15 days or 12 days, we will be praying together, but they should be enjoying praying. Yeah. Don't take it to the public school. She's just blackmailing you. She's trying hard with you to take you to... Don't do that. I'm totally against this. Yeah, okay, but are you going to do adhan or not? I don't know. I'm not sure. You tell me when to stop, okay? Excellent. Yalla. Yes. Yes. The missing father syndrome is a trauma. It's a nearly all addictions are because of a trauma in childhood. Alcoholism, trauma, many things. Yeah. Jazakallah khair. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. No, I don't understand. I don't understand. Say it in Arabic طبعا. Yes, something. Yeah, well, it happens also that some people just they don't really have same-sex attraction, but they want to try something new. It happens. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallah fikum. May Allah bless you. Thank you very much. Make dua for your brothers and sisters in Gaza. They are starving.